Hello lovely people, and welcome back to this week's new video. As you can tell by the title, I read 3 new 2020 release thrillers for this video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Noah. I'm a bookish and lifestyle vlogger, born and raised and still based in New York City. If that sounds like of any interest to you, I would absolutely love it if you would stick around and subscribe at the end if you so please. I was wholly inspired by Gabby from Gabby Reads. I was watching her most recent reading the 3 new thriller video, and I was like, hey, I already own 2 of those books. Why not just do a vlog like this? Because although thrillers, it's like one of my favorite genres ever, I don't feel like I showcase it as much as I could. So here we are. I'm kind of cutting it pretty close for this video because I am supposed to upload it this week and I haven't read one of the books yet, so we'll see if I can actually get it up. But anyway, the first book that I read for the vlog was Winter Counts by David Heska, Wanbli, Weiden. I was planning on starting it at the end of September, although I ended up not reading on the last day of September and started this October 1st. But anyway, this was my September pick for book of the month, and it was perfect because it fits the genre. I had never heard of it before, but it's by an indigenous author, its own voices, and it was following a vigilante on the reservation, which sounded really cool because I've never read a vigilante book as far as I'm concerned. I mean, are superheroes vigilantes? But I don't know. The point is, I haven't read vigilante book before, arguably, and so this is about Virgil Wounded Horse, and he lives on a Lakota reservation in South Dakota, and drugs are being brought into his reservation, and he's trying to get to the bottom of this and enlist the help of his ex-girlfriend Marie. I just really needed to get to this one because it was my book of the month pick, and I have had problems with getting to my book of the month in the month that I chose. The book that I'm actually still in the middle of, it's One by One by Ruth Ware. This was on my radar, most definitely. It was one of the most highly anticipated reads of this year. I've only read The Cabin in Woman 10 and The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I've heard good things about The Death of Mrs. Westaway, I think. I ordered this from Barnes & Noble. It's a special signed edition exclusive to Barnes & Noble, and I'm only 140 pages into it. But I went into this with like really low expectations because Gabby didn't like it at all, and it was really highly anticipated for her as well. So we'll see how that goes. You'll see in the vlog portion. And then the last book I'm reading is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. This is the book that I haven't yet gotten to. This is also an anticipated read for me. I know Alyssa Cole's a really amazing romance writer, and I haven't read anything by her. I have been interested. This should be interesting, getting to her debut thriller prior to her popular romance books. This is following Sydney Green, who lives in Brooklyn, New York, which is where I live, which is kind of weird. And it's about gentrification, which is also a concept that you don't read a lot, or I don't read a lot about, unless it's like nonfiction, like essays. I definitely have never seen it in a thriller before. And it's interesting because I live in a neighborhood as well that has gentrified over the years. This is following Sydney, who's Brooklyn born, and her new neighbor, Theo, and they're getting to the bottom of what's going on in her neighborhood, like why it's changing so quickly and why people are leaving and where they're going. I believe there might be a romance. I'm not entirely sure. It says here in the review that it's Rear Window meets Get Out. I'm really enjoying it. I actually had trouble finding like a good time to vlog it, and I've got about 60 pages left, so I just wanted to get one point in before I give my final thoughts. This book is about Virgil Wounded Horse. He lives on a Native American reservation in South Dakota. He is part of the Lakota tribe, and he's basically a hired thug, a vigilante. He is hired by people when justice has not been served. The feds don't really come in to serve any kind of justice unless it's murder, and the tribal council doesn't really have enough power to do anything. Someone approaches him and lets him know about a drug ring that is happening, or like really dangerous heroin and possibly pills are being distributed within the reservation and harming their community. He is getting to the bottom of that. He recruits the help of his ex-girlfriend, and they are setting out to figure out what's going on. This book is really fast paced, I think. I'm really enjoying it. It's really easy to read once I get down to getting into reading, because I have difficulty finding time in the day to read. But I can see this playing out exactly like a movie. I really like the pacing of it. You can tell Virgil definitely has his own demons that he's facing. He's taking care of his nephew, and he used to be addicted to alcohol, so he's definitely coming over his own things and trying to better himself. But then he's like also this hired thug that has a bad image in the community. I can't tell if he's half Native American or half Lakota, so people give him a lot of shit for that. There's a lot of trigger warnings necessary to read this book. Bullying, pedophilia, abuse, rape. It's a lot to handle, especially in the first chapter. Even it sort of takes you into a deep dive into what it looks like. I also was really interested because it's giving you a glance at what it's like on a Native American reservation. This is fiction. I am taking that into account, and it's only in South Dakota on a Lakota reservation, although the author, it is own voices, but it definitely gives you a glance at like how much they have been mistreated. And I've talked about this in like sociology classes before, that it's so easy to kind of ignore all of the issues and racism against Native American people because they've sort of just been pushed out of sight, out of mind onto reservations where the rest of America doesn't have to look at them or pay attention to them. So it's really easy to not focus on these issues, and I think this is really eye-opening. I was aware, but that there's always more that I can do. I think right now I'm going to read the last 60 pages before NBA Finals. It's going to be game 3 between Heat and the Lakers, and I'm rooting for Miami Heat, but it's looking like a sweep, which is also disappointing. But, you know, what can you do? I finished Winter Counts and I'm giving it 4 stars. It was really good and painfully descriptive, kind of disturbing in terms of the violence at the very end, but I think it was really well done. I liked how the story wrapped up, although there was a storyline with Marie. I'm not sure if I liked how that part wrapped up. I felt like it could have been talked about a little bit further in detail, but overall I think the story was really well done and I really enjoyed it. I will be looking out for more works by this author. We're headed off to a good start. 4 stars. This book has been in the packaging for like weeks because I wanted to unbox it on camera. There's about 10 minutes before the game begins, so I might get started on this one. This is a signed edition from Barnes & Noble, so I'm just gonna get started on this one while I wait for it to begin. I was really excited for this as well, so I hope that by going into it with like 0 expectations, it'll be a better time. I'm working right now and it's Wednesday and I'm running behind because I was supposed to finish this by yesterday, but alas, here we are. I'm currently on page 228. This is following employees of a tech company who go for a company retreat to the French Alps where there is a ski chalet. There is an avalanche that occurs and someone ends up going missing, and they're all kind of like one by one being picked off, and they have to figure out who the murderer is. It's very Agatha Christie-esque. I think if you enjoyed The Guest List by Lucy Foley, you would enjoy this as well. So far, maybe it's because I went into it with 0 expectations. I am enjoying it. I was worried because Gabby said that she didn't. I have my ideas of who the killer might be. People who I thought were involved in new stuff, I was correct about. And I like guessing, so hopefully while I'm working, I can get in some reading time as well. It's only in 2 different perspectives, which I'm confused about. Housekeeper Erin and Liz, one of the people involved, the employees, but I don't understand why it's just the 2 of them. It does give you a different perspective of the employees and the guests, but I'm not sure why it's those 2 characters. And because there is a huge cast, it was a little difficult for me to tell who was who, although there is a list. The book starts off with the About Us or the company website, so you can tell who the employees are. Whew. I finished her immediately after I started reading the next book, but I don't know what to rate this. I think I'm leaning more towards 4 stars. It was a little bit predictable. I mean, I could guess early on who it was, and typically when I guess who it is, which I enjoy doing, I guess it like right before the reveal, so it's like really, really exciting. I didn't think it was as bad as Gabby thought. Maybe it's because I went into it with really low expectations, but I did enjoy this. But I will say I think I enjoyed The Turn of the Key more, but I'm might be giving it the same rating, but I feel like 3.5 is too low. I really like Erin's relationship with Danny. The two of them, they work together and it's just really sweet. You know, they got each other's back, especially since it's just the two of them. Hello? There's like a storm brewing. I don't know what's happening outside. Crazy wind. 4 stars. I just moved locations for this clip, but I am now reading When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, but I really only read like the prologue, and I should hopefully finish it tonight because I have to upload this video tomorrow and I need to get to editing. Sydney is born and raised in Brooklyn, which is cool because I'm raised in Brooklyn as well. She is watching her neighborhood change over the years and it's being gentrified. There might be possibly a romance between her and Theo, her new white neighbor. They're realizing that rates are going up because of gentrification, so their neighbors are moving, but they're not really sure where they end up. There might be something more sinister going on. I've never heard of gentrification in a thriller aspect, so that might be pretty cool. It reminds me, the concept sort of reminds me of Stephen King's The Institute. He took that concept of kids being kidnapped and twisting that, which was really interesting. Although Gabby did say that this book doesn't read at all like a thriller. It might be better for thriller beginners, so I am unfortunately going into this with low expectations as well, so hopefully I will enjoy it more. So it's Friday 1:30 a.m. and I didn't upload on a Thursday because I didn't finish this book, and we were also celebrating my dad's memory, his death anniversary, so we were just focusing on that. I did a lot of errands today and I didn't get around to reading at all until I got into bed to go to sleep, and I'm on page 146 and I'm like struggling through it. I am considering DNFing it, also finishing it for this vlog, but I'm like really skimming through it. The white people in this book suck. Even Theo, he's like so boring. He's such a dud. Sydney is okay. Like, I don't like have strong feelings about her at all, but I'm not even enjoying it, even if I consider this as a contemporary. It just feels like the scary portions or supposedly creepy portions are very over-exaggerated, sort of in a way that a parody might include things like that, like Scream. I think I'm just gonna stop at 146 and try again in the morning to read it, and if I don't, I think I'm gonna have to put this down. So it's Friday afternoon. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna be uploading it today or tomorrow. You'll see, I guess, but I am 188 pages into When No One Is Watching. I have read 40 pages of this today and I have to DNF it. It is so boring. I can't get into it at all. The concept of gentrification would have been more interesting, but I feel like trying to make it into something like a thriller is just not done well. I mean, maybe if it was just about the gentrification, but I feel like there's all this fake spooky shit happening that I don't think is scary. It seems overdone and I'm not interested in it at all, and this sucks because this is my first Alyssa Cole book and I didn't enjoy it. Hopefully her romance books are better, and also because it's for a video and I wanted to enjoy it. To wrap up this video, I first read Winter Counts and I gave this 4 stars, and then I also read One by One by Ruth Ware, which I gave 4 stars as well. And sadly my last book, the 3rd book, When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, is a DNF. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you would like to see something more like this. I mean, I do have a 7 in 7 series in which I read 7 books in 7 days within the same genre, but sometimes that can be a lot because it's 7 books. But maybe something a little shorter could be like a short little taste, especially to experiment with new releases. So let me know if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.